Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori and this is Holy City Mystic. So you guys thought I was done talking about Yods. Little did you know. No, I'm not. So I just wanted to talk a little bit today about the 3 different types of Yods that I talk about. I know Rick Levine talks about a lot of different types of Yods, and that's amazing. That's a little bit beyond where I am now, or maybe a lot beyond it. He's a genius. But I want to talk about the Quincunx Yod, or the traditional Yod, which is your finger of God. The Iron Yod, or hammer of Thor, that's where it's a square and then 2 sesquiquadrates. And then the golden Yod, which is your quintile Yod, where it's a biquintile, and then a quintile at the end. So all 3 of these act very differently, and I just wanted to give you kind of buzzwords to remember them, just because somebody watching all of my videos on your traditional Yods, if you try to apply that same logic to either a hammer of Thor Iron Yod or a quintile Yod, it is not going to translate the same because they are completely different structures. So first of all, your Iron Yod, think of resilience, think of determination, think of strength. If you have an Iron Yod in your chart, that is going to be your primary lesson, is resilience. If you have a quintile Yod in your chart, where it's 2 biquintiles and then a quintile at the bottom, your main thing is going to be blessing. It is an otherworldly placement where you have creativity and creation coming at you all of the time. So that is going to be blessing, angelic-like blessings that come to you. If you have a finger of God or a traditional Yod in your chart, which is a quincunx, it's 2 quincunxes and then a sextile at the bottom, that is a destiny Yod. You are going to have specific destinies that you have to fulfill over the course of this lifetime, and that's going to be where a lot of anxiety is for you as well. So the reason why the hammer of Thor has to do with strength and resilience is because it's 2 sesquiquadrates, which is a square and a half, and then a square at the base. Now, with a square, it symbolizes some sort of movement for you to continue with that. There needs to be some kind of reconciliation in order for you to move forward. So some kind of action has to be performed for you to move forward. With a sesquiquadrate, it is, yes, this action has to be performed, but instead of stopping and then performing it, it's more of a go slow. There's a lot of resistance there. So it's like, you know, this example just popped into my head, so you guys are getting it. I like to bring groceries inside one time. So that means I have 5 bags on this arm and then 2 giant ones on this arm where I have like cans or fruit or something like that, something where it's like a lot heavier. So a square is where I have to put everything down to open the door. A sesquiquadrate is where I'm like awkwardly trying to get the door and I'm able to open it without putting everything down. So having those 2 things in this formation of this Iron Yod or hammer of Thor, that is resistance, but it creates strength. It is resilience. It is carrying this really heavy thing around since birth so that when the big things happen out in life, you kind of just roll with it, because it's like you've been carrying so many heavy things around your entire life that that resistance has built up so much strength and so much resilience in your life that you're able to really just flow with it. And so you can look at the points in your chart and see what that story looks like for you. But if you have that placement in your chart, that's kind of the main idea of what that looks like. With the quintile Yod, where it's 2 biquintiles and then a quintile at the bottom, this is the 5th harmonic. It has to do with creation. It has to do with otherworldly energy coming in and creating. It's that Fibonacci sequence. It's nature. It's this, you know, bloom of life. And so when you have this in your chart, it is blessing. It's, you know, oftentimes if you have this in your chart, there's some form of channeling that you do where it's like you're able to be at just the right place at just the right time, and you know none of this came from you. It's not you making these choices. It's just you're moved into these certain situations where you say just the right thing, and it's almost that angelic channeling that comes through you because you have this placement in your chart. So again, when you look at the different points in that quintile yod, it'll show you the story. It'll show you how it's playing out for you. And then the apex, which is going to be the tip where the two biquintiles meet, that's going to be where a lot of the energy is flowing. But where is it coming from? That's going to be back at the two bases. Now with your finger of God or your traditional yod, where it's two quincunxes with a sextile at the bottom, that is your destiny anxiety. That is where you know you were here for a purpose. You came here to accomplish something, to do something. However, the energy of a quincunx is that of blindness. And so you're not really sure. You're not sure what it is. You have an idea of like, well, I would like to do this, but it's not for me. I would like to do this, but you know, so many people would be better at it than I would. And I'm not confident that I would be able to do that correctly. But the more steps you take in that direction, it feels like there's more opportunities, but you always have that pull back to the bases where you're just like, the bases are my comfort zone because that's the sextile at the bottom. That's where there's a lot of luck, a lot of energy there. But then there's also this draw, this pull for you to go towards this apex or this destiny point. And again, it feels like you're not allowed. It feels like it's not for you, but it's also what you keep coming back to. It's the thing that keeps popping up for you. So that's just kind of a shorthand way to remember these things. So if you're going through and you're just like, oh, I have a yod in my chart, I don't really know what to do. I guess it's a destiny point and I'm not really sure, you know, if I need to follow this or what it means for me. First, you're gonna look at what type of yod it is. If it's a classic yod, it's going to be 150 degrees on either side and then 60 degrees at the bottom. If it's a golden yod, it's going to be 144, 144, and 72 at the bottom. If it's an iron yod, it's going to be 135, 135, and then a square, 90 degrees at the bottom. So especially with the golden yod and the classic yod, you need to be conscientious of orbs there because it might be the type of thing where if you widen it to like 6 or 7 degrees, you could have a quintile on this side, but then a quincunx on this side, and then kind of a loose sextile at the bottom. So those, you know, interpret with care, but unless you have the same thing on either side, it really doesn't technically count. Again, far be it for me to tell you what counts for you. If you feel it, it's probably real. But yeah, I hope you guys are well. That's my 2 cents. And I hope that helps you as you're interpreting your own chart to kind of be able to piece out what the different yods mean without going deep into each one. You know, that's just a very high level, basic, okay, if I have this type of yod, it's this type of yod, it's that. And then, you know, of course, you can dive deeper into it and discover the points and what they all point to and kind of what that story is like for you specifically. I hope you guys are doing okay and take care.